Hi everyone, welcome for another pick a card reading for the heart and soul. I'm really excited about today's reading because it is what you need to know to get in alignment with your purpose and your path and really get into spiritual alignment so that you're feeling good about yourself and about your life and what it is that you're creating and doing out here in the world. So because this is such an important topic to a lot of us, what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to do a card spread instead of just laying one card out after another. And this is the spread that I use in my personal readings. So I think you're going to get a lot more juice and information out of it this way. So, for those of you who don't know, I am Cheryl Harnish. Hi. And I'm the author of The Path of the Soul, Divine Guidance, and Return of Spirit deck. And all the information on the cards, where to get them, how to contact me for personal reading, all of that fun stuff is right below the video in the video description. And the timestamp is in the comment section, pinned to the top, the very first comment, that's a timestamp. Okay. Now, when things are really important to us, we tend to get fuzzy intuitively and in our heart when we have a lot of energy around it. So take a moment, close your eyes, take in a nice deep breath. Just let yourself feel your bum on that chair. Feel your breath as it moves in and out. Allow yourself to settle just a little. Okay. And when you are ready, you choose whichever deck resonates for you. And as always, if you feel drawn to more than one deck, that's totally okay. All right. You can also choose either A or B right now. So Path of the Soul will be reading number 1. Divine Guidance is number 2. And Return of Spirit is number 3. Okay. So you guys make your choices, and I'll see you in the reading. Hi, group number 1. How are you? So I've been shuffling these cards for a few minutes, and they're feeling like they're just about done here. Okay. What it is group 1 needs to know to be more in alignment with their path and purpose. Okay, let's see what we have. Trying to go in here. All right. So we have Inflow, and that is a master card number 11. It's a stunning card. We have Consciousness. I have a feeling I'm going to knock that box over. Dreaming, which actually came out last week. Breakthrough. I'm liking this, you guys. Renewal, which is a lot about relationships, family relationships, deep personal and fertile. Okay. So now the very first card that I lay down, it represents either you or the situation that you're involved in. And the card that we have here, if I can get it off the table, we have Inflow, and it's a master number 11. So with this card, I do like that this card is here because that's telling me that you aren't as stuck as maybe you perceive yourself to be. If you're feeling that way, you know, we can feel like we're stuck. But with the Inflow card, it is literally saying that things are moving, the energy is moving, your path is opening, things are happening. This is not a card of stagnation. And when you look at it, it is literally like pure divine energy pouring down through this. And this is also a master number 11, which tells me that there's something for you guys to build, to create, to bring forward, to give birth to out here in this world. right? So we have, but that energy is already in motion, moving you forward. So it feels to me like a part of this, the manifestation process, or the part of like going, okay, that's it. I want to do what's true to me for work in my life. And, you know, I want to live a life that really is spiritual, healthy, you know, fulfilling, and brings me contentment, peace, and joy. And it's like, really, it feels to me like what they're saying with this is that, you know, you've started down that path, because there's so many people who are really just sleepwalking in their lives. They're waking up, going to work, come home, feed the dog, go to bed, you know, and over and over and over. And it's like there's been some sort of awakening or epiphany or like happening here to get you into that motion. So it feels like Spirit is carrying you guys through. Now, I love how these cards laid out, because the card that sits behind it is the card that it represents the energy of what you've been in, what you've been working on, and also the energy that is helping to push you forward. And it's the renewal card sitting here. And that renewal card is talking about a renewal in relationships. But a lot of that happens through this deeper introspection as to, you know, these are the people in my life, and these are the people who have raised me, and how did I become the person that I've become, and how did I come to believe what I believe about myself, about the world, all of those things. And usually when this card is coming up, it's talking about some sort of healing having taken place within you, within your relationships, something that kind of woke you up and said, okay, where you've come from is not necessarily who you are and who you will be in the future. And there's a lot about reconciliation. And sometimes that means it's just about reconciling the relationship within our own being, whether that is a reconciliation of a relationship outside of us. And I have to say, a lot of this is talking about our family connections, our deepest connections to whoever those people are in our lives. But it can be an actual renewal of that relationship because you come at it from a new perspective. So it's almost like the feeling that I'm getting from this is that what you've been like in that personal growth work mode of things, and that's why things are in flow, of really looking at even your own relationship with yourself and in your life. And the card that sits crossways here acts like a bridge that takes you from where you are or have been over the hump of right now to where you're heading. And this is the card that's sitting here, and it's the consciousness card. And this to me looks like this brain, and it's just getting infused with this energy. And you have the inflow card there, which is all energy. So it tells me, you know, like in a way, this is a time of healing, you know, your thoughts, your emotions, healing your heart, really doing what you need to do to clean out your closet and make fresh and new. But this is also talking about coming to more of a conscious understanding of your purpose and role and path, and your role on the planet, and your role in your own life, like what it is that you're doing. Now, that consciousness card is also talking about having come through a growth period, you know, through this introspection that's been happening in the past, in your past, of your past, with those relationships. But there's something more that's going on here because of the card that's sitting ahead of it. So the card that's sitting here is the fertile card. And this is talking about, you know, getting over the hump of where you are to where things are heading. And the fertile card, you know, for those of you who haven't seen my previous videos, who've seen this guy, this to me looks like a little sperm and these are 2 eggs about to be fertilized. And, in one way, that is talking about life and situations really becoming ripe in their prime, and you coming into that prime state to really create what it is that you want into the world. But because that consciousness card is here, it's telling me that there's a lot going on about understanding how your consciousness creates your reality. And I know that it's not just manifesting, oh, I want a car. I'm talking about how we create the world that we are experiencing, good, bad, and indifferent. And there's a lot of higher understanding and knowledge that's coming to you in this, in really developing a consciousness of we are all God, we are all one, we are all connected. And the reason I'm saying that is because of the card that's sitting up here. So the card that sits up here is what you're learning on a higher level, on a spiritual level. And because it's telling me that things are really ripe for you right now to really step in and to begin to claim the things that you want in life. And that means coming to an understanding that you can do what this quiet calling is calling you to do. This is in one part because this is the dreaming card, okay? So this is talking about, in a way, like this wish fulfillment kind of energy that's happening with the fertile card. But it's the dreaming card is talking about twofold, about really coming to embrace your dream, your life dreams of what you would like to do in this world. Whether your conscious mind is telling you you can or cannot, that's not what this is about. This is a higher lesson in learning for you to really allow yourself to dream and dream big. This is, you have the inflow card and the fertile card, and it's not saying hold back, only dream to what you think you can do. This is talking about becoming your fullest, becoming your greatest. And that's a big lesson for you in this lifetime, is to really embrace your deepest dreams. Now, the other thing with this card, with the dreaming card showing up in here, is that there's guidance and lessons in dreams for everyone, but there's something especially poignant for you with your dreams. So I don't know if that is about you really taking the time to come to consciously understand the symbols of your dreams, the dream meaning, and how to connect that to your real life. Because with the dreaming card, there's a lot of guidance that's happening in the dream time for you. There's a lot that you're working out from your past, and that you're working out to create this better future. Okay. So, but in the physical, so now what can help you feel strong and solid and stable as you're walking your path? And this is the card that's here. It's the breakthrough card. And I literally see this, it's all this organized patterns, and then this lightning bolt of energy is just crashing through it. And it feels to me like they're talking about, with this breakthrough card, is like really beginning to see the habits and patterns that you've created in your life. And it's not just, your habitual daily habits, like I get up at 8, I always have a coffee, I always go to the gym at 7, whatever your pattern and habits and routines are. But it feels like, because this is so much of a deeper reading, this is also talking about your habits and patterns in your relationships, how you operate them, the people that you choose to be with, the people that you choose to hang out with, what you do, anything that is a part of your daily living life routine. And it is really about assessing it and breaking free, because there's something very strong here about you guys breaking free of this past, these patterns, the old you, and really allowing yourself through this guidance in, the dream time, the higher the unconscious, subconscious, to guide you into really creating this life that is here and unfolding for you. So you guys are actually like bang on target, I have to say. Now, your reading isn't finished. It's going to develop more through either choosing A, which is our manifesting Buddha, or B, our prayers Buddha. Okay, so I'll let you guys choose your secondary reading, and I'll see you there in just a sec. Hi, group 2, how are you? Okay, for those of you who have chosen the Divine Guidance deck, I'm almost done shuffling here. We're just finishing it up. Okay, I feel like we need just a little bit more. Okay, so let's see what Spirit has to say, how you can get in alignment with your path. You guys. Okay, this is beautiful. All right. Like, this is, I love this. Okay. So the very first card that I lay down, it represents either you or the situation. And this is the card that they chose. Okay. That's the Earth Angel card. And you see how it looks like these two big wings, and we have all these beautiful like pinks and greens, and yes, there is some blues in there. And this is all about the heart chakra. With that Earth Angel card, that is telling me that you guys are the service people. You guys are here as souls to be in service to the world, to help with healing and advancement and growth of either the mental, physical, spiritual well-being of others, to help them in evolving on their path. And whenever I see Earth Angel people or anything that kind of alludes to that type or pattern, that tells me that you guys are these really sensitive souls. And I say this often in my videos, that those who grow the most go through the most. And especially like with that Earth Angel card, it's almost like, when you guys were incarnated, you're like, yeah, I want to deal me one of each. Like all these hard ass experiences, and you soldier through and you get through them, and you take the time to learn from each and every experience that you've encountered to become more whole and more true, knowing that whatever you've experienced isn't the truth of who you are, that there is something more to you. And with you guys, I find that calling in your heart to really, that deep desire to really need to make a difference out here in the world. And whether that's, huge on a big grand scale, or even in a smaller way, just through a regular 9-to-5 job, but not a regular 9-to-5 job. It's a job that when you go home at night, your heart feels fulfilled because you made a difference here in this world. So the other thing with you guys is you guys are highly sensitive, very tuned into people on a very, I always say that it's almost like your radar is strong. So when you walk into a room, your radar scans the room and goes do 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 do. Who's safe, who's not, who's having a good time, who's having a bad time. And you have these scanners on at all times. And so that tells me that a lot of this is about your path and purpose, and really coming in, stepping into your role in service here in the world. Now, the card that sits behind it is the card. It's like the energy that you've been in, like in the past, that you're coming out of. And it's also the energy that is helping to move you forward on your path. And the card that we have here, you guys, is the Femme Divine card. And with that card, now if you're a male, the Femme Divine card is not saying, oh, you're too feminine. I had a person in my readings ask that, a male. With that Femme Divine card, feminine qualities are that of nurturing, caring, intuition, support, guidance, all of those things. And it is there, you know, a part of what this is talking about is having been through the past experiences, realizing that that is where you operate more true to yourself. Did I say intuition? I hope that I mentioned intuition with this. And it is usually about getting the lessons around those things to know that that's where your soul sits best. That's when you are embracing those kind of qualities, is when you excel and become your greatest and your finest. But the other part of that is that is the energy that is actually helping to move you forward on your path, because the card that sits here acts like a bridge to take you from where you are over the hump of now into where you're heading in the future. And look at the card that came up here, you guys. It's the creative card. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus, but with the creative card sitting there, that creative card, it has these two globes, right? And this is like in the physical, and this is like up in the spiritual. And you have all this golden light up here and all these reds. Okay, so it is talking about your creative force, your creative flow. So I feel like for a lot of you, doing things that are of a creative nature are really good for you guys in getting you moving energetically, getting you in a place of flow. That can also include intuitive arts, healing arts, all of those things, you know, the whole shebang here, because this is talking about, see, okay, so you have this golden light shooting down through these, and this is about really accessing your higher gifts, understanding, knowledge, and bringing that through out here into the physical in a way that it is of a creative form that is a little bit unique or different than how a lot of others would do it. Okay. Now, the other thing with this card is there can be like talking about like Kundalini awakening, which is like that beginning energy of not just the Kundalini rising and awakening, but that's the beginning, the start of actually stepping into your own path of enlightenment and higher understanding. So there's a lot here about like bringing through your spiritual gifts out here into the world and using them in a creative way. So the card that sits on the other side of this bridge, which is your creativity, is what's getting you through, getting you onto this other side. This is the card that we have. And that's liftoff. And it looks to me, this card, this looks like a rocket almost. And it's taking off and like literally splitting the skies and shooting. And this tells me that where you are right now, where you are moving, where that quiet, intuitive calling is calling you to aim your arrow and shoot, that is where you need to head, that you can absolutely do this. Like whatever this is that you feel called to do, even if you only have a general idea of the area of where you want to aim, you can do it. You can do it. You can do this. Okay? It's very important. Now, what's interesting is the two cards that sit above and below, because the card above represents higher lessons, learning, understanding, that sort of thing. And the card that we have is the reflections card. And I love this because this looks to me like a beautiful pool of water reflecting this wall that kind of represents the subconscious, our inner world. And it's in this waterfall, which means it's in motion, it's moving. So the reflections card is about taking that space for yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean retreat and retraction from the world, but because this is up here in the higher lessons and higher learning, there's a big element here that's happening that's asking you to really look within yourself of, what's written on the wall of your own subconscious. Again, it's about beliefs, of who you are, what you're capable of, what you can do, the old record that's been playing for all this time, and really taking that time to make an assessment and see what is being reflected out, because it's pouring out into your life of what is written up in here. So there's a lot of mind over matter sort of thing happening here. And it's doing the work that you need to do in order to make this crystal clear, to clear up the water, to clear up the writing on the wall, to really make it, to rectify, redeem the past, and bring it into your current spiritual understanding, because that's in the spiritual lessons and learning, to really integrate your spiritual lessons, learnings, beliefs into this subconscious, so that it's really ingrained in there, and that becomes the platform of where you operate from, instead of operating from the past. Now, this is what I find so interesting. So that's what's one of your larger spiritual lessons going on right now, is to do that kind of work on yourself. And here we have at the bottom, the card at the bottom represents what can help you feel solid and stable as you're walking this path. And the card that we have here is the intimacy card. Okay. Now, I always see this as this big, beautiful rose that goes into infinity. And then we have these two beautiful spirals that are spiraling into the rose, into its depths. And with the intimacy card, and I know that this often does really relate to earth angel type people, is that the feeling of not being alone is very important to you. It's important to you to feel like you have companionship, that you have that someone to be your rock, to be the one to hold space while you go and live your life, to really have that soulmate partnership happening. I understand how that feels, the need for that, or the desire for that. And that is something that is coming for you. And in this card reading, because this is a general reading, I can't say, oh, it's in 1 week, 2 months, 5 years. It's too complicated for that. But what this is talking about is talking about you really claiming your path to be in service in the planet, and by really looking at what it is that is written inside the story that has been told of you, and creating a new story of you. And that the thing that will bring you the most support in walking your path at this time is to really begin building deep, intimate, authentic relationships, And first and foremost, that means building a deep, authentic relationship with you, with yourself, and learning how to grow into that place where you feel emotionally safe to have that level, that depth of intimacy that your heart so craves with other people, starting with the safe people, right? Like your closest friends, the ones you know you can trust, and really relying on those people that you have that intimacy with, that true bond with, to rely on those people until you are in a place where you feel like you've got this. Sometimes we do need the support and love of other people in order to get moving into where we are. That's just a fact of life. We're social. We are born to be in relationship with other people. And this is talking about not holding on to the relationship aspect of having your soulmate, true flame. I prefer true flame partnership, not getting held back by intimate relationships either, which means not clinging onto relationships that may or may not really serve you, and not moving forward and holding on to that so tightly that you're not allowing yourself to move forward with your true path and your purpose. Okay, so there's kind of a twofold message coming out here, and I know that you will be able to discern which of this message around the intimacy is the one that's accurate for you. Okay, because there is a lot about utilizing the incredible souls that are here in your life for that love and support to help you gain the confidence that you need in yourself to move forward to building that deep, intimate relationship with yourself, to know that that important relationship is coming, and to not hold on to any relationships that do not offer you, any relationship that does not offer you true, authentic intimacy, love, care, concern. Any of those relationships, it's about letting those go, doing the work, letting those go, so that you are free to really take off in your life, to really excel and move. Okay? All right, now that's not your whole reading. The other part, which is going to personalize this a lot more to you, is either choice A, which is our manifesting Buddha, or choice B, which is our prayers Buddha. Okay? All right. You guys make your choice, and I'll see you there in a sec. Hi, group 3. How are you? Okay. I'm just about done shuffling these guys. Okay, that feels good. Okay, so let's see what you need to know to help you get more aligned with your path and your purpose. Wow. 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 Okay, you guys. I think you guys definitely have the power reading out of the deck, or out of the choices today. So this first card that I lay down represents you and the situation. So this is around path, purpose, getting in alignment with yourself and your life, right? So the first card that we have here is the knowledge card. And with this card, see how it looks like the outline of a person. And at the top of this person is this enormous, incredible crown chakra that is wide open. And there's this energy pouring from the heavens in through the crown and out through the person. So this tells me that you guys in general are the ones who have knowledge to share, who have information to share, who are the speakers of the world, the teachers of the world, even like leadership type things, even if it's entrepreneurial business, there's something about stepping into this leadership teaching kind of role for you guys, and that this, it may or may not feel like it comes naturally right now at this moment, but I have a feeling that deep in your heart you know that you have something to share, that there's something about you connecting to people and bringing through information or conveying information in some way. With that knowledge card, this can also talk about having been through classes, courses, and stuff to get to the place that you are in your path, to be able to utilize that in your path out here in the world. But more often, this is for you guys who are the teachers of the world. Now, the teaching can be, things that you've learned and you're passing it along and bringing it through in a different way, right? And or this can be information that is more unique, more I don't want to use words that will confine your understanding of this, but sometimes it's similar to like channeling information, or getting kind of like downloaded with this stuff that you need to bring forward to the world and bringing it through and out into the world, or being directed and guided to teach out here in the world. Now, because this is a group reading, it manifests so uniquely for each person that I may or may not be able to describe it exactly for you alone, but you get the idea of that, and that this is the basis, the whole basis of your reading here, you guys. So if that represents you or the situation, this card represents the energy that you've been in, are just coming out of, and it's also the energy that is helping to push you down your path to get you moving, okay? And this is the card that showed up. Now, with the intuition card here, all of these little spots are spirals, and there are literally thousands and thousands of spirals, and they are all spiraling into each other. So this is a spiral, this is a spiral. There are so many of them, it's ridiculous. And the significance of spirals is wherever they are, there is growth and expansion. Universes, galaxies are created in spirals, right? That's the nature of moving energy in this world. So this tells me that you guys have been through a big growth period in your lives. But this also tells me that you guys are quite tapped in, tuned in. You're probably, and if you aren't consciously aware of being intuitive, I would say you're very likely feeling quite drawn to develop your intuition, and that this has been happening for you as of late. This is a lot, on this part of the path. It's a lot about really learning how your intuition works for you and learning how to embrace it. And for many of you, because that teaching card is sitting there, this is about you guys really following your intuition and your soul calling you to step out into this role as teacher in whatever way, or teacher or leader, right? But because those words are kind of interchangeable, because leaders teach just by example of who they are, right? So, but there is something about that. And I would say for many of you, this involves not just conveying knowledge and information, but also using your intuition in the work that you do in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes we don't consider what we do as being used intuitively, but one of the examples I can give is when 100 lifetimes ago, I used to be a headhunter for a temp agency, I would hire people, and I am intuitive. It's the nature of who I am, and I could intuitively know exactly who the right person was to place. And so a lot of the times we don't acknowledge that this is actually our intuition helping us to operate through life, because it's so natural to us that it doesn't come with this flashing little sign that says this is intuition, that we disregard it as being intuitive and think it's just us operating normally in the world. But you guys aren't just the average Joe. You guys are extremely tapped in, tuned in, turned on, and have a role in bringing through knowledge and information to other people. Even an example is what I'm doing here with the card readings. It conveys information and knowledge to other people. So there's so many ways that this can manifest for you, but a lot of this has been about you guys growing into that role and really coming to accept it. Now, I find this one really interesting because the card that sits here, it acts like a bridge to take you from where you are to where you're heading. And with this card sitting here, the Return of Spirit card, now this, I always see this as an eagle, or sorry, as a phoenix energy, and you may see that as an eagle or some other bird. And if you do, I encourage you to look up the meaning of that spirit animal for yourself. But I really do see this as phoenix. And with that return of spirit, it's talking about, whatever it is that you guys have been through or are coming out of here, that it is about you really stepping into your spiritual role, that it's about you stepping into the truth of who you are. Of this often is talking about being reborn and rebuilt, like having walked the fires of hell in your life and then coming through, rising out of the ashes into this newer, more purified, authentic version of yourself, and really feeling like Spirit's got your back. They've got you in this, and you can move forward. You are intended to move forward with this. Now, I'm trying to put two things together at once here. Okay, so this is all about you guys claiming your intuitive gifts and your role as a teacher and leader or teacher and leader in this world. And this is about you really trusting the universe on how that's supposed to look, and trusting your heart, right? Because your heart is connected to your highest self, which is connected to God, the universe, right? So this is about you really trusting your heart, following your heart in this journey. And what's interesting is this card that sits here acts like a bridge to take you from where you are over the hump to where you're heading. And I love that this card is here because it's the innocence card. And with that card sitting there, that tells me that there is a tremendous amount of growth that is coming up for you guys at this time. And I'm sure you've already been through what you feel is your fair share, but this is more, not just growth, healing. This is like about healing some really deep core wounds. And I have to say, this is a lot about healing some wounds and hurts and understandings and beliefs about yourself in relation to spirit as being a spiritual being, having gone through the crap that you've gone through. And why did you go through that to bring you to this place now, and utilizing all of that to as tools on your path to help other people. But the big part of this is that with that innocence card, they're really talking about you coming to that place of seeing your own innocence, of seeing yourself with that purity of perception. And through that gives you the place within yourself to truly see the innocence of other people in your lives when you are ready to see that, and to see each one as this soul or piece of God who came down to experience the things that they are experiencing, and that you came to experience the things that you are experiencing, and to see the innocence behind the role that they have chosen, you have chosen, that we've all chosen, right? This is God experiencing itself as an incarnated being. But with that, that also tells me that there is a huge empowerment that is happening here for you guys. Now, and I feel like I really want to encourage you to keep going. I know that that feels really tough, to walk the fires of hell, to be reborn in this beautiful phoenix energy, right? That those times at that moment, they really suck. And you guys can not just make it through, but you guys are nearly through, because this is the bridge that's bringing you to this higher spiritual understanding, this higher spiritual perspective and understanding of yourself and this world, and to really use that as a tool of empowerment in you bringing forward the knowledge and intuitive gifts that you have to share. Now, the card up here in this higher row represents what you're learning on a spiritual level, on your higher understanding and that sort of thing. And this is the card that's here. And with that card, it feels like this is direct, because it's the spiritual lessons, learning, understanding. It feels like there is a spiritual lesson or learning or understanding that's coming for you, of really truly seeing a tremendous shift in your life, as far as feeling like you are on your path and you are on your purpose, or walking in purpose, right? So there's a lot of alignment stuff happening here. And with that up card, because it's pointing to the heavens, I also feel like there's this strengthening of your own personal connection to spirit, to your intuition, and to really a lot of clarity coming around what your role really looks like out here in the world, and how to really put it together as a something for you that you're doing out here in the world. I hope I'm explaining this properly, because I get the energy of this and the understanding, and then translating that into words to articulate that sometimes is challenging. But this is about you guys gaining that clarity and that understanding, and things shifting for you, that you're nearly done walking those coals, right, the fires, and that you're in the transformation stage, and to look up, right? Look up, keep that connection. That is where you're guided. That's where you're gonna get your most stability from. And it's funny I said stability, because the card that sits below this is in the physical. What can help you feel solid and stable as you're walking your path right now? And this is the card that came. So when the fairy magic card shows up, that tells me, you guys, you're being hard on yourselves, because a fairy magic card is about lightening up on yourself. It's not about being a taskmaster, a slave driver, a naysayer, all of those things that we do in our self-talk that sometimes we're not even really conscious of. And so this is like, stop driving yourself. Life has to be equal parts work, equal parts play, right? It's about taking a time for yourself in the physical world to really do the things that bring you some joy, that are ridiculous and stupid and just non-useful and make you feel absolutely fabulous, whether that means you're just gonna sit on the couch and binge watch Netflix for a day, or get yourself out into nature, like whatever it is that feeds your soul. That it's really important that it not be about working on yourself, working on your relationships, fixing everything, do your, develop this, whatever you're going to teach, and da 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 da. Make some space for you to just play. Okay? This is going to be really important in this part of your journey, is to have that reprieve time. Okay? Now, this is not the end of your reading. We also have the A or B. So A is our manifesting Buddha, and B is our prayers Buddha, okay? And this is going to help clarify a little bit more what the cards are talking about, and to really give you that extra notch of guidance. So you make your choice, and I'll see you guys in just a second. Hi, Group A. For those of you who chose our manifesting Buddha, so I've already laid out our cards here, and I'm going to start with this side. So we have, nice, okay, so we have magical. And I like that magical card just because it's talking about it's like this beautiful reminder to remember to look for the magic that is happening in your life, to look for the magic that's unfolding in your world. It's kind of like a gratitude practice, but spun on its head of, the little synchronicities and coincidences, and how one person says something to you and then a completely different person says almost the identical thing to you. Those messages coming through, and finding the feather or that dime, or smelling roses in your kitchen, which is your grandmother. Like, it's really like about looking for all those magical, wonderful signs that are coming through to you from your guides, angels, from the universe, and really looking at the magic of how you made it to here. You've arrived this far. You've made it. And how did you do it? Because there was divine intervention in your life at key points to guide you and steer you. And so that magical card is about really looking for those things in your life. And when that comes up, it's usually saying that there's some signs coming for you, and it feels like it's more than just finding a feather on the ground. This is a lot about guidance and that's funny. I am saying it's a lot about guidance and direction, and the card that I have here is Divine Guidance, and that's card number 44. So we have a master number coming out here. And of course, wherever there are spirals, there is growth and expansion happening. And this, because Divine Guidance, this is this big, beautiful ball of light in here. This is about knowing and understanding that your life, there's a higher power or consciousness that's helping to direct your life, to help you to become the greatest version of yourself that you can be, the truest version of yourself that you can be, to become the light that you truly are. Okay. And with that, it's kind of, I feel like, in a way, they're really working together, because this is talking about divine guidance, and this magical card is about, seeing how the universe is working in your life in all these magical ways and looking for a sign from them. So I feel like, again, with both of these guys being here, this is very much about some sign and guidance in higher understanding coming through, with that spiral helping you to grow and evolve on your path just a bit more. And it feels like, there's some, I don't know why I feel this way. It's like one of those, oh my God, those things that happen with like almost a giggle out of like, did that really happen? So there's some sort of guidance coming here for you guys, and be open to that coming through the mouths of others. Okay. I have to say that for whatever reason. Okay. So the other card that we have here is Starseed card. And I love that because the Starseed card is very much about being unique, that you don't fit in with the rest of the pack. You were never intended to fit in with all the people, right? That you were always intended to be this beautiful rainbow colored sheep, not just a white sheep. And that it's about embracing the uniqueness of who you are, really owning your unique perspectives, point of views, your unique approach to life, and especially in the realm of your gifts and talents and where you feel called to in the world. And when we put these together, it's almost like, the universe giving you the signs of encouragement that you need to really step into we were talking about being your light and your authentic self, and having that the encouragement and encouraging moments that really set it home for you in your heart and in your mind that, I don't do it like everybody else. I am different than all my friends, but I'm not supposed to be like everyone else. And that this uniqueness of who you are is your gift to the world. That is your gift to the world. And through that, that's where you truly find your sense of belonging, okay? Where you really go, I never thought it would happen, but I'm here. This space is for me. This is where I belong, okay? So for group A, you guys, it's all about looking for the signs, the universe talking to you, especially your angels and guides and things like that. Now, this is a personal or a group reading. If you would like a personal reading, that's much more specific to you on your individual path. I am available for personal readings, and all my information is down below in the video description. And I wish you guys much love. Stay strong. Be the unique person that you are, because that is exactly what we need here on this planet, okay? I wish you guys much love. I hope you got what you needed today. Take care, and I will see you guys soon. Hi, Group B. How are you? For those of you who chose our prayers, Buddha, come over here. And I'm feeling drawn to look at okay. So the first one that we have is the prayers card, which is about your connection. I was going to say your connection with the universe. The prayers card is a lot about your personal relationship with the universe, and having that connection where you feel like, yeah, they really are here and they really are listening to me. The other card that we have here is the red native card. I always see these two as looking like parts of a totem pole. I don't know why, but that's how I see it. And then we have the astral realms card. Okay. So with this, I really want to start with red native, because this card it's really talking, it's using some terminology from native spirituality of walking the red road, which means walking the path that is true to you, that's true to your heart, that really honors yourself, as a soul, as a spirit, and honors the earth and honors spirit, and that it's all that whatever it is you are doing is in alignment to that, and it's for your highest and greatest good and the highest and greatest good of all involved. So this is really about fully embracing your spiritual path and not, being a closet new ager, or, having these, I don't want to label it that you're spiritual or you're new age or new thought, or any of those things. I'm just trying to use a word to articulate your spiritual connection and not hiding it from the world. That this is really about embracing it fully and having it become just as much of a significant part of your world and reality as your significant relationships and your job, that it all comes in equal terms and it gets just as much of your energy, time, and attention as anything else that's happening in your life. Because there's something happening here that's talking about your spiritual growth and greater understanding. And in that, through that, there's an alignment with you on your path and in your purpose. Now, it's interesting because with this card here, with the Astral Realms card, that is talking about, it's talking about really opening up intuitively. And for some of you, it could very well be, things like having, starting to have out-of-body experiences, or coming to understand that you are not this body, but having not just understanding, but experientially experiencing that you are not this body, that there's more to this reality than this 3D reality that we experience in the physical world, that there is other dimensions of existence and being. And so for some of you with that Astral Realms, I know that a lot of you are working toward, 5D manifestation and these sort of things. And I feel like I want to encourage you to really reach out beyond your current understanding of yourself as this human being in a human body, because you are not this body. You are not a human being. You are not this reality, right? So, and there's something about really awakening to that understanding and really integrating it into your spiritual path and really opening. I feel like you guys are really opening up and waking up in some sort of way here that's profound or powerful, that will have a significant impact on you in your life. And that's where that prayers card comes in, because I feel like it really strengthens your personal bond relationship to spirit, to your guide, or to your angels, or to the ascended masters that you work with, or Jesus, or Krishna, or Buddha, or whoever it is that you connect to. There's something about this experience that you're coming through that really strengthens that. And prayers card is a reminder also that it seems like one-way communication. Like when we think of praying, we think of putting our hands together and closing our eyes and saying stuff to God. But prayer is so much more than that. Prayer is a state of being in your heart. It's about opening your heart into this connection and communion with the force greater than ourselves, and resting within that and creating that place of trust and ease and peace within ourselves, knowing that this is a part of who we actually are. So there's a huge amount of growth that's happening here for you guys. I'm really quite excited. Now, this is a general reading. If you would like a personal reading, which is actually much more specific to you and what you are going through on your path and your purpose, I am available for personal readings, and all my information is right below the video in the video description. Please do like, subscribe, and I wish you guys the best. You have something really amazing that's opening up for you here very, very soon, if not already opening. So, wow. wow. I'm sending you guys my love, my support, and a great big hug, and I will see you guys again soon. Take care.